from driver's side window. I'm driving north on I-15 in Montana. And it's a beautiful day so far, you know, hardly any traffic. As you can see, the sky is amazing. And on that side, those big hills, there's no snow on them. It's just looks kind of sand from this distance. And it's -1 Celsius or 31 Fahrenheit. 102 miles to Butte, Montana. Now, how is this for a picture? This is a huge, I think it's artificial lake. To the side, it's called the Clark Canyon Reservoir. Now this bit will show you why I love Montana. Especially when there's no snow yet, you know. This is my favorite state to do my trucking in. This is my first stop for the day. It's a town pump or Pilot Travel Plaza in Rock,
I went
Montana.
inside, had a quick snack, some veggie salad and hard-boiled eggs, you know, they sell them here. Quick, good snack, cheap. Some coffee, some water, and I checked my email. And I almost fell on the floor laughing. I would never think that people, you know, would take my history lessons so seriously. And surprisingly, the one about Blackfoot, Bigfoot, did not raise any objections, but the one about DuBois, Idaho, the one about DuBois, Idaho did, you know. Well, that's what's wrong with this country, you know, and with Canada. I mean, when I say this country, I mean adults, because adults, they go through high school, you know, they go through college and all these office jobs, and they just lose creativity, they lose imagination. You know, and when we are kids, when we are like 3, 4, 5 years old, we're all creative, you know. You know, look at your, you know, granddaughter or grandson or a daughter or son if they're small, right? You give them a pencil and a piece of paper and they'll entertain themselves for hours, you know. But then, you know, because we are put in these structured environments where there's no, you know, room for original thought, so we lose that ability. And actually, when I came to Canada, I was always interested in, you know, in movies, photography, you know, creative stuff, but I never thought I would be able to write, because I actually had like a, what is it, like just a good, you know, it was 4 on a 1 to 5 system, like a good mark for Russian literature in Russia, but it shouldn't be satisfactory, because I was never big guy for, you know, writing those essays. And then I come to Canada, I pick up a book called If You Can Talk, You Can Write by Mr. Sugarman, who's a famous advertising copywriter. And I started reading that book. Jesus, you know, I really can write. So I started writing stories for Russian media in Toronto, then trucking stories for Truck News magazine, so which shows that all of us are creative, you know, we just need to work on that. And for me, as a movie maker, photographer, you know, and trucker, it's important to exercise that part of the brain, so that's what I'm doing. And plus, I think it's entertaining, you know. At least most people would find those history lessons funny, right? And they would not try to correct me, but well, okay, that story about the Bigfoot, Blackfoot, was actually based on real facts, but the rest I just made it up. So oh, and one guy sent me an email from Germany in German, and I was able to understand it actually. And then I hit the translate button and I saw the English translation, and actually it was right. So he said that he's a truck driver in Germany, and it's so stressful, and that yet when he watches my videos, you know, it seems so easy. And I sent him an email. I said, you know, try chewing gum. That's what you need. And then thing number 2, you need to drive in areas like this. You know, of course, if you drive in a big town with congested traffic, you're gonna go crazy. That's why I like coming west. You know, like to places like Montana with amazing views. How can it be stressful? There's no traffic. Like, you know, there's one truck, and then 10 kilometers down the road there's another truck, and you have your chewing gum. That's how you deal with stress. So my next stop is Great Falls, Montana. I'm passing Butte, Montana on I-15. Saw what the road ahead of me looks like on the GPS, and when it goes left and right like that, that's usually a sign there's some kind of a mountain pass, or, you know, some dangerous curves. And it's a good thing there's no snow and it's still above the freezing. Now on the GPS I'm coming to the first noose-like huge curve, and there's a sign up ahead, you see, safe speed 45 miles per hour. Dangerous curves. Well, I dropped the gear, so I'm at 8 low. No reason to rush things here. Another stretch, same 45 miles per hour warning for curves. Lots of fun. Maybe I should stop at that river and try some fishing. Well, I'm out of that dangerous area with curves. I'm on I-15, just about 20 miles south of Helena, the state's capital. Okay, I admit those stories I told yesterday about those American cities, they were made up, you know, maybe like 50%. But today, you know, I can't just let things slide. I gotta tell you a story about the town of Butte, Montana, and Rocker, Montana, where I just stopped, you know, like an hour ago. Now, if you have any family, you know, that dates back to those times, you know, like 17th, 18th century in Montana, maybe they can collaborate this story. But here's what happened. A long time ago, a couple of enterprising Montana individuals, they discovered time travel. Now, time travel, the idea was to travel forward in the future and watch the lottery tickets draws, you know, and then travel back and make some money. Like, you know, nothing wrong with that, except that back then electricity was unavailable, and you need electricity for time travel. So there was a whole bunch of SMS, emails, you know, regular mail back and forth between these guys in Montana and the guy who was working in electricity. What's his name? Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. But, you know, he was taking his sweet time, so these guys couldn't wait any longer, so they decided to put the time travel on hold, and they focused their attention on space travel. Now, space travel, you don't need any electricity. You can use, all you need is some fuel and some specially shaped couple of metal objects, and they had plenty of coal. And if you saw the movie Astronaut Farmer, you know that there's nothing, you know, nothing to it. I mean, the government would want you to believe to the contrary, but, you know, space travel is easy. Now, Montana wanted to be the first, so they wanted to keep this a secret. So the launching pad, all the facilities were built in the town of Rocket, but just to, you know, make things as hush-hush as possible, they renamed the town to Rocker. And
and that name still exists today. Now, when the first rocket became, ready to fly, they needed some volunteers, and they could not find it. They went to the local psychiatric, shelter, hospital, and started looking at the records of people that were suicidal. And after a while, they chose 2 individuals, and the selection process went like this. And then they showed them the cards, yes, no, to each question, but to those people they chose, they only showed yes, yes cards. So it was like a no-brainer. So they put them in the orbit. There was like 2 guys. One name was they went up in space, and the scientists from Rocket East asked them to take a picture of the town, Rocket East. Like they were curious to see how what it looked like from 200 miles above. Now, to their surprise, once the analysis was complete, the final drawing of the Rocket East looked like part of the human anatomy. Specifically, the part human beings sit on. And scientists were not sure what to do with that, but they wanted to commemorate the first flight, the first manned flight. And so they decided to rename Rocker East into the town of Butt. But again, they wanted to avoid nosy questions from reporters. And so they decided to confuse the public, and they changed the spelling and they changed the pronunciation. So it became Butte, B-U-T-T-E. Now when Edgar Poe finally came through with the electricity thing, the folks in Rocker East or Butte decided to dismantle the site for the rockets, and they switched their attention to the time travel, but the real name of the town is still pops up in music, in music videos, everywhere. Well, I can admit that after a while, you get tired of these mountains and curves and ups and downs in elevation. Can I just have a straight road, with no wind, where I can set my cruise control, and just relax? Here's another area where you have to be extremely careful with a tractor trailer. Even though the safe speed on curve is 60, which is better than the last set of these turns, but still, check out the view. Some 30 miles south of Great Falls on I-15, looks like I'm out of the mountains. And I see some nasty clouds in the distance, but for now, it's plus 11 Celsius, or 51 Fahrenheit. Beautiful. Okay, so from Great Falls, going straight north, it's about 2 hours to the border with Alberta. Just check. Just the sun is shining right straight into my face. Okay, where I'm going? I'm going to Canada. Not California, Canada.
Yeah, Swift Current. Okay, let's say city center. Just, you know, to see the distance, right? Fastest route. Oh, time zone changes by 1 hour forward. 509 kilometers. But I cannot go this way. I have to cross in Kutz, because that's where my paperwork is. I mean, my paperwork was set up. Okay, 603 kilometers. Alright, so that's more like it. Okay, so it's 6 hours from here. I don't know, I can move to Shelby. It's about 80 miles from here. There's another big truck stop over there. So 80 miles is what, 120 kilometers. So then it'll leave me only 5 hours for tomorrow. So I don't know. And the time now is 3, right? 3 local time. Maybe I should do that, because the wind is actually blowing from the south. You know, just maybe for the first time in 2 weeks I'm not fighting the wind. It helps me drive. And now with the storm coming, you know, I think the wind will change direction tomorrow. So, and plus I still have some daylight time left. So I might as well take advantage of it, you know, and I reached the Shelby, Montana. From there it's like, I think only, what, like 40 miles to the border, you know. Maybe that's what I should do. But this kind of decisions, you know, you gotta make yourself when you're an owner-operator, because no one is telling you what to do, so you have to figure out how to avoid, you know, bad weather, how to stay ahead of the bad weather, while you know, being on time with your appointment if you have any. But in my case, today's Saturday. All right, my appointment is for Monday, and I'm only 6 hours away. So, but for this bad storm that's supposed to come, I would probably have stayed here. But I'm looking at those, you know, clouds. Like, check this out. That's the view from the east, right? I came from, or actually from the south, I think. Yeah, I came from somewhere over there. And these clouds are moving this way. You know? That's not good. Now, it looks like I have a slight air leak somewhere. Like, my compressor cuts off air almost every minute. That's not the brakes, because the other gauge serves the purpose of showing the pressure for the brakes. This one is that stupid, you know, suspension, airbags, and I was just crawling under the trailer, I mean under the truck at the last stop, and I couldn't find anything serious. It's one of those annoying little things, you know, that always happen on older trucks. I think it's, I have 2 small airbags at the back of the cab. They're supposed to make the ride more comfortable. And there's a right height valve in there. And, you know, maybe that one is losing air a little bit. I'll need to check it out, because if I don't, then it's nothing to do with safety. It's just that the compressor works overtime, you know, pumping air into that stupid airbags.